Welcome everyone to the webinar today. And today we are exploring accelerate delivery with AI testing. As you know that AI is a hot topic today and there's a lot of exciting announcements and work that is happening in AI in the AI world and we are today exploring accelerating QA delivery with AI testing. It is all about moving beyond simple tools to intelligent AI agents. And I have with me Mudit, who comes with a lot of experience in software testing and software quality, is currently a QA automation specialist in NetWest. I would let Mudit introduce himself. Mudit, can you do a
Yeah,
very quick round of introduction?
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Neeraj. Hi, guys. I am Mudit Maheshwari. I have got over 6.5 years of experience in the automation testing space. I am currently working at NatWest Group at UK, and I have actually worked with Red Hat prior to joining NatWest. I am a WCC mentor and I have actually spoken at conferences the the Test Istanbul conference and the Test Trove conference. And I am also a volunteer with the Mind Access group. Yeah, Neeraj, can I share my screen now?
Yeah, welcome, Mudit, and thank you so much for taking the time. I'll just quickly go through the housekeeping items. The session will be recorded, so you don't have to worry about taking notes. The recording will be made available to all attendees. There's a dedicated Q&A and some exciting announcement at the end, so please do stick around. There'll be certain polls running, so it'll be very helpful if you participate, and any hand raisers, we'll definitely reach out for more. Yes, so Mudit, handing over to you.
Yeah, I hope my screen is visible. Can I see some hands if it is?
Yes, Mudit, we can see your screen.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah. Good morning, guys. I am Mudit Maheshwari, and today we will see how AI can become a powerful partner to help us achieve the greater speed, higher quality, and drive innovation. So, why AI in the testing now? Why are we having this conversation? Firstly, we have a huge amount of data from our test runs and tools that can be used to, to actually train the AI models. Secondly, the NLP and the computer vision have become too much mature now for enough for their practical application. And at the end, I would also say that we are moving away from testing at the final check. Rather we are having the particular testing imbibed into our development process from the very beginning of our SDLC cycle. And all of this is possible by AI only. Yeah. So now let us look onto some of the key applications in of AI in the in our domain. So the first one being the generating the BDD test scenarios from our requirement file, and also we can have the additional documents like the test coverage, the step definition guides also being generated by the AI. We can have the defect prediction, self-healing test automation, and intelligent test prioritization. So currently you all must be thinking, what is this particular screen about? So basically I was asked to like generate a BDD test scenario using a PDF file. So what I did was I had copied that PDF file and and gave that as an input to my AI agent, and the agent itself has installed the the particular dependencies that it needed to to actually to parse through that particular PDF, analyzing the requirements mentioned over there, and it has produced the final BDD, which is visible onto the left hand side of the screen. And all of this was just a matter of a few minutes time it has taken. Yeah. And now let us talk about another application of the AI that is improving the coding standards. So most of the AI coding assistants can suggest a compact, cleaner, and a consistent code. And it is also useful for implementing the variable naming conventions in our coding methodology. And AI can also be used for any compile time coding errors resolution, as well as it can be used to spot any security vulnerabilities that that are happening long before the code is even pushed to the to the to any of the testing environment. Yeah. So now let us look onto a case study of the Netflix. So basically, Netflix needed to look and work perfectly on the thousands of different devices. Manually checking this is just not possible. And they have turned to the computer vision based visual testing using AI to automatically detect the UI differences and the inconsistencies. This has helped them maintain a high quality, consistent user experience for everyone, no matter how they watch. So, what AI cannot replace. AI can't replace us. Us, that is the human element. We are actually the key element to be operating the AI, because AI cannot work on its own. AI is actually needing our inputs only to be able to give the output that it is giving. It cannot perform the exploratory and the empathetic testing. And we need to have the humans for actually taking the final call on any of the code that is produced by an AI agent. Yeah. And now I would like to show you all a video.
So, Mudit, one of the things that I was really curious about was you talked about test authoring, authoring BDD tests with AI and healing. So where you've been, your team has been using AI, I'm sure, and where it has been most helpful. In what use cases you felt your company, your members have felt AI has been really, really helpful, and why do you think that is really a transformation from before to without AI versus with AI? Yeah.
So basically, AI has actually fastened up the particular process. So now I am able to generate the particular test cases from the user stories or the requirement files, right? And I am able to actually identify the edge case scenarios that I may not immediately be able to think of, and also I am able to get the variations of the test data for the positive and the negative flow of the testing. I hope that answers your question.
Right, Mudit. So I think what you're saying is that authoring, finding based on your use case, you're able to identify different kind of scenarios of the test, and the coverage is much better with AI
Yes.
helping you.
Yes.
But I'm also curious. We talk a lot about AI helping. Where have you found AI actually not helping? I mean, in social media, everybody's like AI is helping in everything, but I'm sure what are the biggest challenges that you face with AI using any tool or getting adoption in your team members?
So the biggest challenge that I think is actually we have to be looking forward that we are not actually pasting the company confidential data into into these AI agents, right? And also we have to be super careful if we are likewise posting any internal code to these AI agents, and also the any sort of proprietary information that actually must not go out and onto these agents. So yeah, so basically the term data security is has been our challenge majorly.
Got it. I think data security is everybody's challenge with AI. But I think people using AI worry a lot about hallucinations and sometimes
Hmm.
AI giving wrong
Yes.
output. So, how do you make sure you or your team members, they don't, like, how do you manage with this kind of random outputs or hallucinations? Yeah.
Yeah, so likewise, the BDD file which I likewise shown you that actually is may not be our expected test scenarios. At most of the time, we have to actually have a human who shall be actually overseeing overseeing those particular tests that are being generated by the agent. Yeah.
Got it. So I'll summarize, I think, for everyone that while it is AI is really helping a lot in authoring and some of the other use cases as well, it can't replace the human expertise, the human in the loop. And
Yes.
so make sure you whenever you're using AI, there's always a human who's validating the outputs and so on. And data security is again very critical. So ensure the tools that you're experimenting, as Mudit said, but in a more secure and compliant manner.
Yes.
Mudit, you can conclude with your slides. Yeah.
Yeah. So how can we actually get started with the AI in our domain is actually to start with small. Start small means actually you have to likewise figure out your particular pain points, and then try to use the AI in actually solving those particular issues or not. And also I would actually highly recommend that if you can also integrate the AI tools in your pipeline so that it is becoming a part of your workflow, or the or your testing process. That will actually help you integrate the AI, and also alongside measure the ROI, that is the speed, the coverage, and and how many defects were actually got escaped out into your into the into the into the application's live environment. Yeah. So likewise, to actually summarize, AI is a co-pilot. AI cannot. AI needs us to actually do its job perfectly, and the role of the quality engineers is actually going to evolve only. It is not going to get vanished, and AI helps us to likewise bring the product faster to any of the markets, and faster products means happy customers. Yeah.
Mm.
So
Thank you, Mudit.
So likewise, if people are interested in actually getting in touch with me, they can scan this QR code, and I will be happy to connect with you all. Yeah.
Mudit, one question we have received is for is there any kind of like tools or that you are using these AI tools that has helped you or your team? Yeah.
So likewise, so currently I was exploring one of the AI IDE, that is anti-gravity by our Google. So I am a big fan of it now. So, so
Well,
likewise, basically, it is actually helping me to likewise to like think about the cases that I'm not able to think, if 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 it is not there, right?
sure, sure. Thank you so much, Modit. With
Yeah.
that, we'll move to our next section. And it's very interesting that you talked about healing and intelligent test prioritization. And that's exactly what BrowserStack is also working towards. So, for the next 10 minutes, I'll be talking towards some of the AI agents that we have built to ensure that they have faster and stable test automation with AI agents. Hello everyone, I'm Neeraj. I'm a BrowserStack AI product manager, and BrowserStack has been working on figuring out how can we leverage AI to ensure there's a faster and stable test automation with AI agents. We started with test creation with a more natural language testing, so no code, no maintenance. We have been working on an agent where you can simply write your natural language intent based tests, and you can even mix it with your existing frameworks like APM Selenium. But the idea is that we are looking at the whole testing life cycle and see how AI agents can dramatically transform the efficiency on QA. So we are working on test creation agents. In test execution stage, we are working on intelligent test prioritization. So, for example, if you are getting a PR or an incoming set of changes, how can you predict and run only a subset of impacted tests rather than running your own builds? Similarly, as Mudit talked about self healing, we have an agent which basically automatically remediates broken locators. This is for everyone who is frustrated with their code, front end code, and app change getting changed, and their tests become flaky due to selectors and so on. And this agent can automatically fix it and ensure that the test passes and the builds remain green, and while without masking the bugs, without the actual bugs. and our favorite failure analysis agent, which is the build failures. The worst part is for a QA, it takes so much time to go back and analyze what has failed, why it has failed. And this test failure analysis agent just dramatically collapses all of this to a 5-minute journey where you can simply get the RCA generated automatically. And then in future, you'll be able to query that RCA agent and get to the right answer so that you can quickly debug and move forward. So I just gonna want to start talking about self-healing agent. Essentially, for fast moving teams, the front end is changing continuously, and because of the brittle locators and XPath and so on, there's a continuous automation failures that teams face, and they have to go and waste hours into debugging. So we have a self-healing agent which automatically detects these broken locators and heals them. So essentially, it finds if your current locator, for example, is failing on a DOM, it will automatically figure out, using all the context that is available, and using AI to figure out what exactly what selector will work and what element it is, and ensure that it applies on the test and the test passes. So in our benchmarks, it has led to 40% fewer automation failures due to broken locators, and a lot of customers have benefited from it, making and without masking the true bugs. So I just want to show a quick video of how this agent works.
Of teams hit test failures and broken locators every single month. Here's what's happening. When a developer ships UI updates, whether it's UI enhancements, a new feature rollout, or code refactoring, your automated tests start breaking due to invalidated locators, even when the actual functionality works perfectly. The result? A flood of false negatives, turning your CI/CD pipeline red. Every broken locator costs your team over 15 minutes, hunting through logs, rewriting selectors, and creating a constant maintenance cycle that slows down every release and drives up hidden costs of your automation suite. Introducing BrowserStack's self-healing AI agent. With a single config change, it automatically identifies and remediates locator failures at runtime, significantly reducing test failures. Self-healing AI works with the most popular automation tools for both web and mobile, healing your tests wherever they run, on desktop browsers, mobile browsers, or native apps. Let's see this in action. Here is an e-commerce site for which we have created an automated test that logs in, selects products, adds them to cart, proceeds to checkout, and places the order. On this screen, on the left is the original site. On the right is the updated site. After a simple UI update, a critical locator to the Quick Select user field has changed, as highlighted here. Simple changes like these are the root cause of most locator failures. Now, watch what happens when we trigger the test. Without self-healing, the test fails instantly, triggering a red build and sending your team straight into triage mode. The log confirms the break with the classic no such element exception. That's another at least 15 minutes lost, all spent debugging a test for a feature that was never actually broken. Next, let's run the same test again, this time with self-healing enabled. See how easy it is to enable the agent. And with that, the test passes successfully. The log shows you exactly what happened. Right here, the healed selector entry confirms the AI agent found the broken locator and used a new one, all in real time. The result? Up to 40% fewer automation build failures and several hours reclaimed every single month. The self-healing AI agent is available across our test automation products. Locator healing is just the start for the agent. Our
Great. So our self-healing agent is live, and we have heard a lot of good case studies from the customers, and in reducing the automation failures and making sure that whenever the build fails, it's a genuine bug. Uh, Next, I want to talk about test failure analysis agent. I think AI is really great at summarizing data and making sure we are doing it with a lot of files and so on. So, assuming that a lot of BrowserStack executions, because it has access to all the logs and all the failures and all the context, our test failure analysis agent synthesizes all the logs. It has understanding of your past failures, historical data, and uses AI to essentially present RCA right as the build failure happens, so that you don't have to look for hunt for the real issues, but rather they are presented to you. And in future, we are going to make it more interactive, so you can ask the question to the agent and can reply back to you so that you understand the agents quickly. This leads to a lot of productivity among the teams that have been using and has dramatically reduced the time required to do failure analysis. So I'm just going to go a quick demo.
Test failure analysis is a big time sink for many automation teams. In many automation setups, it could take up to 28 minutes to debug complex test failures. Let's put that into perspective. Let's say you run a nightly regression of 1,000 tests that usually has a 2% failure rate. Even if 5 out of these test failures are complex in nature, your team could end up spending nearly 3 hours every day analyzing. Why? Because failure analysis is still largely manual and often depends on trial and error. One has to sift through various logs, check recent commits, and dig through any related tickets, piecing together context across fragmented tools just to understand why the test failed. As the number of test cases grow, the problem only gets worse. We built BrowserStack test reporting and analytics to help you validate test results and analyze test failures faster. Now, we're taking that to the next level. Introducing the BrowserStack Test Failure Analysis Agent, an AI-powered agent that analyzes, categorizes, and helps you remediate test failures, improving the productivity of your QA workflows by up to 95%. Let's say you want to check on a test you've recently run. You open test reporting and analytics and land on the overview page. This gives you an instant view into the overall stability and performance of your test suite. You scroll below to the test run you're interested in and notice that it hasn't passed the quality gate. Quality gates are the validation checks you can set up to block or approve deployments automatically. You open the test report to investigate what went wrong. Our smart reports help you prioritize critical failures faster. We see that 2 new tests have failed. Let's take a look at the test logs to understand why they may have failed. At first glance, the error seems like it's due to a function that is timed out after trying for 10 seconds. Normally, you'd have to rerun the test or dig through all the logs to figure out what actually went wrong. Now, with the test failure analysis agent, we're making debugging of failed tests even faster. With a single click, you can get an AI-powered root cause analysis of the test failure. The agent can analyze all the logs that you would have to go through and understand them in the context of the failed test. It then gives you an accurate root cause analysis of precisely why the test failed. In this case, the agent determined that this is not just a transient network issue, but a systemic infrastructure problem, a test environment issue. This would have taken a human much longer to piece together. From here, the AI agent categorizes the failure as a product, automation, or environment bug, or any custom bug. In this case, it has categorized the failure as an environment issue. But it doesn't just stop there. The AI agent also suggests how to fix the issue. In the case of code fixes, you can seamlessly pass all of this context and suggested fixes by creating a ticket from the same UI to your bug reporting tool. We're continuously enhancing the test failure analysis agent to make it a truly context-aware, self-improving failure debugging companion. Soon, it will ingest richer signals like screenshots, DOM snapshots, video logs, build history, and even linked Jira issues for deeper, more accurate analysis. We're expanding integrations to include CI tools like Jenkins and MCP hooks, so you can trigger the agent and apply suggested code fixes directly within your day-to-day testing workflows. And with a conversational interface, you will soon be able to directly interact with the agent to provide additional context and ask follow-up questions. The test failure analysis agent is available wherever you test, from BrowserStack products like Automate, App Automate, Test Management, and more, to your internal testing solutions and third-party test platforms. The test failure analysis agent is built on BrowserStack's decades of expertise. It scales along with your test suite, so you can resolve failures up to 95% faster. Try it today on test reporting and analytics.
So this was about our test failure analysis agent. Now imagine that a code change has come and you have to run your full regression suite to identify if there are any failures or not. And the failure happens much too late. The feedback is slow and leads to slower development and release cycles as well. So what if we can do an intelligent test prioritization? What if, based on the incoming code changes, AI can tell you which tests to run? It can predict which tests are likely to fail, and it can run only those tests. This is what is test selection agent of BrowserStack, where we are training our proprietary model. So, based on the code changes and the historical test failures, it is able to learn, train, and predict that based on the incoming changes, what tests are likely to fail. So, for example, before merging to your master regression, you want to do a quick check of whether this PR has led to any failures. Instead of running your full regression suite, you can run only half of those or the tests that are likely to fail predicted by the agent. You can also include it in the PR check level so a developer gets much faster feedback, or you can use it across in different stages of your pipeline to make sure that you can get faster feedback. There are both modes on orchestration and selection. So you can also run these predicted tests first so that if these tests are failing, you can cancel the build and you get much faster feedback. So an example that a build which would have taken, let's say, 4 hours with so many tests, we can drop almost half of the tests while predicting the tests that are likely to fail and running those, and it would do a dramatic more to 60 to 70% of time saved as well as the cost saved. So this is smart test selection. We have recently launched in beta, and we have been receiving some great feedback that users are being able to do in build time savings and CI cost by running only the tests that are relevant or impacted by the code changes of the developers versus always running the complete regression. And last, as we talked about test authoring, AI has been a boon for test authoring. But whenever you write code, you have to maintain that code. You have to evolve that code and so on with your code, with your application changes and so on. What if a future where we don't have to write scripts, but we can just like BDD, a next level of it, if we could just describe in natural language intent. So, for example, perform click on sign in and enter test user as username. What if you could pass these commands? And that's exactly what cross-device automation agent of BrowserStack does. Allows you to add these natural language commands into your APM Selenium or any of your existing test suite, and it executes it on a variety of BrowserStack devices. So essentially, you just write once and run anywhere, and pure natural language based intents, no code, no maintenance. And this is one of the agents we have recently launched, and we are working with our customers to improve. So these are some of the agents that we have on smart test selection, on natural language test execution, test failure analysis, and self-healing. If anybody wants to understand more or inquire more about a POC, please reach out on Q&A or interact with the poll. Um, uh, we'll definitely work with you and answer all your queries. Okay. Can we please share the main PPT? Okay. Um, right. Let me. So I'm going to go over the Q&A screen. Um, just finding it hard to locate. Okay. Let me just quickly go through any of the Q&A. Um, um, can I use BrowserStack AI for quality and UI enhancements as well? Um, I'm sure you can, although I don't fully understand the question, but I will love for you to reach out post the webinar. And BrowserStack is a software quality platform that does provides a lot of use cases, and we are looking at how agents across the software, AI agents across the software life cycle. Um, Um, do we need any programming language experience to move from manual testing to AI? So maybe Mudit, based on your experience or the manual testers or testers that are working in your team, do you think is there any programming language experience that's helpful or for people who want to start using AI and coming from manual testing background?
uh, Maybe you may need some bit of a basic understanding of the programming language, so that likewise you are able to actually check whether the output is the expected one or not, for for actually verifying the output from the AI. Yeah, you
Got got it.
you
So I
must
think
have
what
some. Mhm. Yeah.
got it, got it. Yes, I think what Mudit is saying is just paraphrasing that you should be able to read code and some of that, so that as we said, there's a human in the loop, so you have to validate the output of the AI. We can't fully trust. So some bit of experience is definitely helpful working with the AI. Um, uh, uh, I think that's about it. Thank you. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. Thank you so much, Mudit, for sharing your experience about authoring tests and what is working for you and what is not working for you. I'm sure with practitioners like you, everyone learns how you and your team are leveraging AI. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a good day.